whom I've only gotten to know in the last couple of years, but she has become a powerhouse in the progressive movement generally and in our revolution specifically. Nina Turner, now the president of our revolution. Comes out of the working class. She comes out of the working class with a single mom over the years, and rose up to be on the Cleveland City Council and then in the state senate over there. But so she comes by her working class values genuinely. You know, Bernie was so genuine, and that was his appeal, or is his appeal, continuing now. But he also drew genuine people to be the same thing, to offer that same sense of integrity. And nobody exudes that more than Nina has done. She came out of high school and then a little bit out of college even, worked in fast food restaurants, worked in the Payless shoe stores. So she's been out there. So Nina does not need a GPS and a travel guide to find the grassroots. She is grassroots. She is all by and far grassroots America. Nina Turner. Stay safe.
Jim Hightower.
Oh, yeah.
He is the bomb.com, if I can just say that. Man, I wish I had his wit. He's so smooth. He is so smooth. And Sophia and Paula and all of the Our Revolution, San Antonio, it's such a pleasure to be here with you. Whirlwind tour through Texas. 3 days, 5 cities, and they are working the system. But this is a beautiful thing. I'm glad to be here with you, to Councilman Courage, to my dear sister Amy for telling her daughter's story. That's how Amy and I met, when she was telling her daughter's story. And it takes a whole lot to have that kind of testimony, but she's running on that testimony to be an elected leader. She's already a leader. Many of you are already a leader. You don't have to be elected to office to be a leader. But as Hightower mentioned, we need more progressives in office to get the power, baby. This is not just about having the right ideas. This is about having the power to be able to put forth those ideas, progressives. And that is why we got to run for office, and that is why we got to win those offices. And we also need folks who don't work with and for the people who run for office. That is valuable too. So, you know, I was feeling, when I got to Austin, because that's where I first started, and I've been sharing this story all across Texas. When I went to baggage claim, I saw the great and magnificent. I saw a statue of Congresswoman Barbara Jordan, just as big as life. And I started to commune with the statue, you know, feeling the spirit of Congresswoman Barbara Jordan, so much so folks thought I was crazy, a little crazy. But I was feeling her spirit. And what she said, this came to mind, that what the people want is simple. They want an America as good as its promise. And that is what our fight for Medicare for All is about, is creating an America as good as its promise, a Texas as good as its promise, an Ohio as good as its promise, a California as good as its promise. Name the state, that is what we are trying to create. But then there's also the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on the other side, and when he reflected on healthcare, he said, of all of the inequality, inequity, or of all the inequities, not having adequate health care, and I'm paraphrasing, is the most humane and shocking of them all. He said this in 1966. And here we are in 2017, fighting still that good fight to lift people in this country. And this is not just about our health, and our health is our wealth. If we are not healthy, we have nothing. We can't do anything else. But sisters and brothers, this is an economic proposition too. We don't talk a lot about the economics of this. My nurses, the nurses who are in the house, when we have Medicare for All, we have more opportunities for our nurses and other people in the medical profession to be able to serve. It creates business opportunities, small business opportunities for folks. So this is not just about our health in terms of our physical bodies, but this is also about our health in terms of the economy and what is good for America. And it is a sin and a shame, both morally and economically, for this country not to have Medicare for all for every single woman, man, and child in this country. And so as Hightower said, we're not begging, we're not pleading anymore. What we are doing is demanding. Brother Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has, and it never will. And we are standing on the right side of this issue. We will continue to fight this issue until it is done. We will get this done. And so for all of you to be here on a Saturday, is it still Saturday, Sophia? Oh my goodness. On a Saturday afternoon when you could have been anywhere, it means so much to this movement. I want you to know that we are going to do this, and there are countless people. The councilman said it. There are countless people all over this country depending on us to continue this fight. And as Amy told the story about her daughter, it made me think about the story of my mother that I tell almost everywhere that I go. And to my nurses, man, I just, you know, either you're a nurse or you want to be one. Can I just say that? Yeah. The nurses, if you ain't a nurse, you want to be a nurse. But they are taking it all over this country. A shout out to Roseanne Damaro. A shout out to our nurses who are over in Puerto Rico right now, holding it down. Helping our sisters and our brothers over there in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Just love them. Man, when the nurses stand up and tell you that this is the right thing to do, there's nothing else that needs to be said.
Yes.
But you got elected officials who, it ain't about their donors, it's about their owners. And the donor class own a whole bunch of them. And they have lost sight of being able to stand up for the needs of the people. And when folks lose sight of that, then they got to go. And I don't care if they Democrat, Republican, Green Party, Libertarian, no party. There is only one party that we want to ask people to subscribe to, and that's the party of the RT. That's the right thing. And we need more conscious-minded elected officials from all walks of life to be able to stand up and to do the right thing. This is all we're asking for, is the right thing. And it's easy for us to call out President Trump. He deserves to be called out. Lord have mercy. I call on Jesus a whole lot more than I used to, let me just tell you. But we also have to fight people who we like. That if they don't have the courage to stand up for what is right, we got to challenge them too. And nobody is above critique. And this is not about haterism. This is about a love of humanity. This is about love of country. This is about standing up no matter who it is. This is not a litmus test. This is a value proposition. Do you value life? And if you value life, then you should understand that Medicare for all is an idea whose time has come. And it has come because generation after generation, people have been fighting for this. We've been fighting for this since President Truman. This is not new, but this is our moment. And as Hightower said, Senator Sanders has 16 senators over in the Senate. And Congressman Conyers has about 119 congresspeople over in the House of Representatives. That is an idea whose time has come. And it has come. And they both will say this to you. It's not because of them, but it is because of people like you and you and you and you and you who have continued to fight this fight relentlessly year after year after year after year. Because guess what? When President Nelson Mandela said it always seems impossible until it is done. Baby, this will be done. This will be done. We're going to keep fighting it. So, I am mad about a whole bunch of stuff. I just want to put that on the table. Sophia, black women are not allowed to be mad.
Neither are Hispanic.
Right, neither is my Latina sisters. You know, because when black women mad, then we called angry. And I am angry as hell. I just want you to know I'm mad about a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes.
And angry black women are taking applications, baby. You all can be an angry black woman. Because you know what we mad about? The fact that this country has decided, and the power brokers in this country have decided, that people with big money are more important than people like us. Mad about our children languishing in school systems that don't treat them the way that they deserve to be treated and educate them in the way that allows them to keep their competitive edge. Mad as hell that every time we turn around, you got some man either in the Congress or in legislatures all across this country trying to tell women what to do with our damn bodies. Oh no, we mad as hell. Yeah! We mad. Mad because we got a president who doesn't have the decency and self-control to understand that when people are suffering, there's no time for your lecturing and throwing paper towels and talking about folks only want somebody to do something for them. My God, when you have had a natural disaster, don't they deserve for us to come together as brothers and sisters of this country and go and help our sisters and brothers in need, whether they are in the mainland or whether they're in Puerto Rico or the Virgin Islands, wherever they are. As Americans, we come and we help our sisters and brothers. We don't criticize. So I'm going to tell you something. I don't know when listen, impeachment might not happen. So those of you trying to hold out for that, don't hold out. But I know what is coming. 2020 is coming, baby. 2020 is coming. And we have to prepare for 2020. And that is what this is about. And yes, I heard 2018. So we can't jump over 2017 to get to 2018. We can't jump over 2018 to get to 2019. And we can't jump over 2019 to get to 2020. But it is preparation time right now for us. Building coalitions, building coalitions so that we are a force so strong that nobody can stop this. We are on the move and we can't be stopped. No. But we are doing this with love. There's no talking down to people and talking about folks. And yeah, some people voted for Mr. Trump. You know, I got family members who did the same thing. Ain't no talking about folks. Because the last time I checked, this movement was not about people just for people who are on our side. We're doing this for all people. And we got to keep that in mind, that we don't tear people down. Just because we have a difference of opinion. Choice is not just about physical choice, but it is also in the United States of America, people have a choice. Now, we might not like their choice, but we need to be soft on people and hard on the issues. And no need to talk about people's mamas, dogs, and cats and calling them deplorable and all that. No, because you can't win folks over like that. My grandmother used to always say you can win more people over with honey than you can with shit. You know what I mean? That's what she said. And that is true. When Stephen Covey says, seek first to understand and then to be understood. Who are we to judge folks like that? I'm trying to win you over to my side. So Hightower and I, we gonna barnstorm Texas, because baby, we going all into the rural parts of Texas and go get our rural sisters and brothers. Oh yeah, we going to get them. We just might do it all over the country. Man, because we got a whole lot in common. It doesn't matter if you're urban, rural, suburban, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American. What folks have in common is somebody in between. A little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, a little bit of R&B, a little bit gospel. I hope I covered everybody. It doesn't matter. What everybody has in common is that we want to live a good life. And if you have a family, if you have children, you want to make sure that they have a better future than you have. You want to live in safe neighborhoods. You want to have clean water. You want to have access to health care. You want to know that the future is bright. That is the rainbow mosaic of humanity. And we cannot allow people to divide us. It is easy to call people names on social media. It is easy to say to folks, I never forget, somebody was on social media, and I know it was a Democrat because they identified themselves as a Democrat, saying that the hurricanes that had hit Texas, that the people in Texas deserve to suffer because they voted for Mr. Trump. What kind of, we got kids, right? Who would say something like that? You see, sometimes we letting this rhetoric go too far. We taking this stuff too far. Anybody, and I don't care who they are, who loves a political party more than they love a human being, something is wrong with them. That's wrong. And so as well as we can talk about what Mr. Trump and his administration is doing, God knows I'm hoping that Rod Sterling will walk out and say that we are in the twilight zone. It hasn't happened yet. But it's easy to point your finger, and we should point our finger, and we should challenge him and his administration on every rotten thing that they do. But sisters and brothers, you know what? It's hard challenging people who we say we love and we respect. When they are wrong, they are wrong. And that hurt me to my core to see people on social media talking about how the places that were hit by the hurricane, if that state went for him, that they deserved it. Let me tell you something. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, and I am feeling him. This is what this movement is about. He was a symbol of the movement. He wasn't the only person in the movement. Just as Senator Bernie Sanders is the symbol of our movement right here, right now. He lit the flame, but baby, we got to keep it burning. But Dr. King said this. He said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can. And hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can. And so as we fight this fight, although we are on the righteous side, we are on the moral side, let's not let our rhetoric tear other people down who might not believe exactly as we believe, and call people out when they do it. It is wrong. So for me, this is very personal. When I was 22 years old, my mother died at the age of 42. And Hightower said to you that I am the oldest of 7 children. I have worked in fast food restaurants. I have done it all. Was not born by any stretch of the imagination with a silver spoon in my mouth. Hell, we barely had a spoon. So I know what it's like from experience. And I remember getting that message, that fateful day, a note on the refrigerator door telling my husband and I to go to the hospital because my mother was there. And sisters and brothers, I didn't think anything of it because my mother had a history of high blood pressure. Little did I know that that was going to be a defining moment in my life and the lives of my siblings. 7 of us. I'm 22. My baby sister's 12. We all 2 years apart. I'm married. I got a son. I get to the hospital, announce myself. The nurse leaps from her seat. She escorts me and my husband back to the bowels of the hospital where you don't even know this part of the hospital exists, and all of my siblings, all 6 of them, are crying. My brother is 6 feet 5 inches tall. I hadn't seen him cry since he was a little boy, and I knew that things were wrong. I told you the end before I told the story. The bottom line is this: my mother died with her dreams deferred. As Langston Hughes asked in his poem, what happens to a dream deferred? She worked hard. She tried the best that she could. But sisters and brothers, how many of you know that we all don't run this race at the same pace, and some people fall short? My mother tried. She tried. My parents got married at a young age. They divorced very early. So I grew up the majority of my life in a single mother household, watching her struggle to try to take care of 7 children. It is a shame in this country where poverty becomes a crime. That I know what it's like not to have food. I know what it's like to have 7 children living sleep in one room, and have a mother cry herself to sleep during Christmas because she can't buy Christmas presents. And then we got elected officials in this country who have the pure unadulterated gall to try to take away the ACA. Had the pure unadulterated gall to not stand up and say the ACA was a start, but it is not the end, it is the basement, it is not the ceiling, and that Medicare for all is the way to go. We're not going to take this anymore. We're just not going to do it. And so I'm fighting this fight because I don't want nobody else's mother or sister or brother or child to die with their dreams deferred. This is what this fight is about. And there are many people in this country, in this state even, who have similar stories to my family. People who work. It's called the working poor for a reason. People who try. People have challenges. But we have a political elite class in this country that they comfortable. As Hightower pointed out, they got health care on the taxpayer's dime, but yet they tell us Medicare for all is too damn expensive. But you know what is too expensive? Not taking care of people in this country and watching them die. That is too expensive. That is too expensive. Yeah. And we can have it. And yeah, I want my pony. Sister want the pony. And if I don't get it, we're going to fight like hell to get the pony. So dreaming big is the way to go. Don't nobody want to elect nobody who say keep with the status quo and the mediocrity. You want somebody who say, let's dream a bigger dream. Let's see a better reality. Let's shoot for the stars. That's the kind of leadership that we want. So sisters and brothers, you have got to. You know, my mother never lived to see all of this, but I know that she is in heaven saying, you go, girl. 42 years old, on the system of welfare, no life insurance policy, and no money in the bank. This is real for me. So yeah, I am an angry black woman with a purpose. That is it. So we can do this. And Hightower is asked, and I'm asking everybody here, now you got to sign up. Please do not leave this park without signing up. We are our sisters and our brothers' keepers. Yes, we are. Nobody says that when they grow up they want to be poor. It happens. Life happens. Let's support people. Let's help them get those pathways of opportunities that they need. Yes, will there be outliers? Because our Republican sisters and brothers, yeah, there will always be outliers. But there are outliers on the white-collar side, too. But we want to penalize and critique poor folks. They don't get a second chance. People of color definitely don't get a second chance. So to my progressive white sisters and brothers, racism is real.
Systemic racism is real. Institutional racism is real. And it's going to take the rainbow mosaic of humanity to fight it. When I think about progressivism, baby, I think about black folks who were the original progressives fighting against slavery and abuse in this country. Progressivism is real. We are all progressive. And unfortunately, some on the left think that when we say progressive, we're only talking about white. But right now, this afternoon, I see in this park the rainbow mosaic of humanity. I see my Hispanic sisters and brothers. I see my black sisters and brothers. I see my white sisters and brothers, Native American, Asian. We are all in this together. But we do have to have the courage to call out the isms in this country, and racism is still real. And Charlottesville is not the only thing, because to see those neo-Nazis march, we know who the hell we dealing with. Who I'm really worried about is the people who wear a blue suit over white sheep.
Yes.
The people who are able to push policies that discriminate. That's who we need to worry about the most as we confront folks who are bold enough in the 21st century to walk all up down the street and show that kind of bigotry and hatred. They must be confronted. But we also must confront systemic racism and bigotry as well. So we are our sisters and brothers keepers. Number two, and most important, Brother Frederick Douglass said this. He said, you might not get everything that you work for, but you will work for everything that you get. We are hard workers here. We get it. There is no mountain too high. We're going to do this thing. Because sisters and brothers, our mission is so high we can't get over it. It's so low we can't get under it. And it's so wide we can't get around it. This is our mission. This is our time. But then my grandma, born in 1913, sisters, she couldn't read or write, but she could count her money. Kept her money in the Southern Ladies Bank and Trust with a handkerchief. My grandma kept her money on one side and the pistol on the other. Whoa. She is one of the smartest women I've ever known. And she had what we call in the African American community motherwit. When I asked my grandmother, what does it take to be successful in this life, she said, my dear granddaughter, all you need are the three bones, the wishbone, the jawbone, and the backbone. She said the wishbone will keep you hoping and praying, because hope is the motivator, but the dream is the driver. The reason why we're fighting so hard is because we hope and believe that tomorrow will be better than today. She said the jawbone will give you courage to speak truth, the power to lift your voice. Sisters and brothers, let me just say this to you. Titles are good, but purpose is better. You don't have to have a fancy title to change the world. If you don't believe me, ask Mother Jones, who stood up for coal miners in the 1800s, who said, I'm not a humanitarian, I'm a hell raiser. Yeah! Who said, I will pray for the dead, but fight like hell for the living. She didn't have a fancy title, but she had a heart. Or how about Fannie Lou Hamer, who we just celebrated her, she would have been 100 years old. She fought against the establishment in the South, in Mississippi. She fought against establishment Democrats as well. And black folks and white folks, they formed the Mississippi Democratic Freedom Party in Mississippi. Collectively, they did that to fight against establishment Democrats of their day. You ain't got to have no fancy title. You just have to be committed to being the change, to doing the work, to fighting. So use your jawbone. But Grandma said the most important bone of them all, the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious bone, is the backbone. Because the backbone will give you the courage to keep standing. Yeah. And in this life, you can't have a testimony without a test. And we are being tested to determine whether or not we got courage enough, hope enough, tenacity enough, belief enough to know that what we are doing is right, and then what we have done all we can do to stand, that we stand anyhow. This is our moment. Are you with me in this moment? Yeah! Are you going to stand strong in this moment? Yeah! Are you going to use your wishbone in this moment? Yeah! Your jawbone in this moment? Yeah! Your backbone in this moment? Yeah! So let's do the damn thing. God bless you.